on a remote, desolate island off the coast of Scotland, where Michael lives completely alone. There's no one else around, just the constant sound of wind and crashing waves. The only company he has is his loyal dog, always sitting quietly by his side. Once a week, a small boat arrives carrying supplies. Jessie and her uncle bring him food and essentials, but Michael avoids them every time. He won't look at them, won't speak, and barely even opens the door. It's like he's built a life around staying away from people. One day, as Jessie leaves the supply crate outside his door, she places a small gift on top of it. It's nothing big, just something thoughtful. As the boat slowly drifts away, Michael finally steps outside. Without saying a word, he picks up the crate and leaves the gift behind on the ground. He doesn't care about it. The rest of the day, he sits inside, drinking alone. A chessboard is set up on the table, and he plays against himself in silence. The following week, Jessie gathers the courage to try something different. This time, she doesn't just leave the crate, she knocks on the door. Michael opens it, clearly annoyed. He grabs the crate quickly and starts to shut the door again. But Jessie doesn't back down. She wedges her foot in the door, holding it open, and offers the gift again. "Why don't you ever say hello?" she asks. "Why do you always stay away from us?" Michael says nothing. He forcefully pushes her foot aside and slams the door shut. From outside, Jessie shouts, "I'm not afraid of you." Then she turns and heads back to the boat. The gift is left sitting there again. Out on the water, her uncle gets a weather alert. A storm is coming in fast. The sky darkens, the wind picks up, and the waves grow violent within minutes. Jessie struggles to climb into the small boat and starts rowing, but the sea is too rough. A wave crashes in, knocking the oar from her hands. Her uncle tries to grab it, but another massive wave hits and flips the boat completely. Back on the island, Michael's dog starts whining at the window. Something's wrong. Michael looks out and sees the chaos in the ocean. He runs outside. In his rush, he accidentally kicks the gift aside. Without hesitation, he jumps onto his boat, slides down toward the water, fires up the engine, and speeds straight into the storm. Jessie surfaces for a moment, but her leg is tangled in a fishing net. She can't swim. Another wave crashes over her, dragging her under. She goes still. Michael dives in. He reaches her, pulls at the net, untangles the knots, and finally frees her. He looks around for her uncle and tries to find him, but it's too late. Michael gets Jessie onto his boat and immediately starts CPR, fighting to bring her back. After a long struggle, Jessie finally starts breathing again. That evening, she wakes up in Michael's bed. The first thing she asks about is her uncle. Michael quietly tells her the truth. As soon as she hears it, she breaks down. She spends the rest of the day lying there, unable to move, while Michael sleeps silently on the couch. The next morning, he checks her ankle. It's badly swollen, cut up from the net. Jessie looks at him and asks, "Why didn't you call the police? Does anyone even know I'm here?" Michael doesn't answer. He just tells her to rest. When he steps out to get water, Jessie's frustration boils over. "I need to get off this island," she says. "My family must be looking for me." But Michael knows the truth. Her mother is gone, and her father was never in her life. There's no one coming. Later, when Michael leaves the room, Jessie gets out of bed and starts searching through his desk. She finds a knife. Hearing his footsteps, she quickly slips it under her pillow and lies back down. That night, she has a nightmare. She starts crying out in her sleep. Michael comes to check on her, but the moment he touches her, she jolts awake and points the knife at him. "Easy," he says calmly. "It was just a dream." Instead of reacting, he gently shows her how to hold the knife properly, how to use it, if she ever needs to. Days pass. Michael takes care of her without saying much. He helps her to the bathroom, cooks for her, gives her medicine, cleans her wounds. Slowly, she begins to heal. She starts walking again, spending time outside with the dog. And for the first time, Michael doesn't seem completely alone. One afternoon, Jessie asks how he knew her uncle. Michael tells her they served together in the military. That's when it hits her. She doesn't even know his name. When she asks, he refuses to say it. She tries again asking the dog's name, but he shrugs it off. He doesn't have one. So Jessie names him Jack. Later, she notices the chessboard and smirks. "You'd lose easy. Your rook's in the wrong place." Michael barely reacts, and instead he checks her ankle again. It's infected now. Still, he refuses to take her to a hospital. "I'll get what we need," he says. He leaves for the mainland by boat. While he's gone, Jessie looks around his desk and finds a drawing of her and Jack. It stops her. Then she opens a drawer and realizes something else he did. Open her gift. Inside is a snow globe with a lighthouse that looks exactly like the one on the island. Meanwhile, in London, a man named Manafort is being grilled during a government meeting. He's been running a secret surveillance program called Thea, one that pulls data from every phone and camera across the UK. He defends it, saying it stopped attacks and helped capture terrorists. Later, he meets privately with the Prime Minister. The recording is turned off. A deal is made. Publicly, Manafort will be fired, replaced by Roberta. But behind the scenes, nothing really changes. He'll continue running Thea in secret, and he agrees. Back in Scotland, Michael stops at a pharmacy, carefully avoiding every camera he can spot. Then he hits a clothing store, grabbing armfuls of clothes, anything to keep his face out of sight. But on his way out, a group of girls snaps a selfie, and he ends up in the background. That one image is enough. The moment it hits Thea's system, an alert goes out. Michael is flagged as a high-risk terrorist. Roberta doesn't hesitate. She deploys an assault team immediately. Back on the island, Michael returns and treats Jessie's ankle, wrapping it properly, giving her meds and even some sweets. He hands her the clothes he brought. They fit perfectly. That night, while they're eating, Michael hears something. He grabs binoculars. A boat is heading straight for the island. "Go. Lock yourself in the bathroom." "Don't make a sound," he tells Jesse. She takes the knife and does exactly that. Michael steps outside, blade in hand. As the soldiers move in from the boat, he triggers a trap, cutting a rope that sends a massive rock crashing down the hillside. At the same time, a hidden net snaps tight, dragging one of them straight into the water. Then he flips on a blinding light. The soldiers, wearing night vision goggles, are instantly disoriented, half-blind. They rip the goggles off and start firing as they spot Michael running. One chases him up the hill. Michael turns, smashes a lantern over his head, then fires a flare gun, igniting him on the spot. Another soldier rushes up. Michael meets him with a knife and shoves him off the edge. Inside the house, one more soldier breaks in, but Jack lunges at him. The dog fights hard, giving everything he has, but after a brutal struggle, the soldier pulls the trigger. Jack drops, dead, and just like that, everything changes. The soldier kicks the bathroom door in and rips it off its hinges. Jesse barely has time to react before he snatches the knife from her hand, grabs her arms, and drags her outside. In the garage, another soldier searches for Michael. Michael is already there, hidden, waiting. As the soldier steps forward, Michael triggers another trap. A heavy iron hook swings down at full speed, tearing straight through the soldier's body. He screams, suspended in the air. Michael pulls the rope tight, leaving him hanging, then slips back into the shadows. Moments later, another soldier enters. Michael doesn't hesitate, he lunges. They crash into each other, struggling for control. Michael rips the weapon away, but the fight turns brutal. He stabs the man 3 times, and still, the soldier keeps coming. Strong, relentless. Michael grabs a nearby oar and swings it hard, cracking it against the man's head. The soldier stumbles. Michael forces him down and presses the oar across his neck, pushing until the fight drains out of him until he stops moving. Then Jesse screams, sharp, terrified. Michael freezes for a split second, then grabs the fallen soldier's gun and sprints outside. He spots the man dragging her away. Without wasting a second, Michael fires, aiming low. The bullet hits the man's leg. He drops instantly. Jesse pulls free and stumbles aside. Now Michael has a clear shot. He takes it and the last soldier goes down. As he looks closer, he notices something. A small camera attached to one of the soldier's gear. Everything was being recorded. Michael quickly gathers the equipment. "Stay here," he tells Jesse, then heads inside. He finds Jack lying still on the floor. For a moment, everything else fades. Michael kneels beside him, gently placing a hand on his head. "I'm sorry I couldn't save you." He sits there in silence, then makes a call. "I'm coming in," he says quietly, "and I've got baggage." He ends the call and pulls out the battery. No signal, no trace. Soon after, Michael and Jesse take the soldiers' boat and leave the island behind. The sea is pitch black, but they push forward into the night. Not long after, Roberta gets the news her entire team is gone. She immediately orders a special agent to be deployed. At the same time, she tells her team to dig into Jesse's background, find out who she really is. By morning, Michael and Jesse reach Scotland. Jesse notices the blood on his clothes. His wound has reopened. "You're bleeding," she says. "I'm fine," Michael replies calmly. "Don't worry." They move quietly through the city, avoiding cameras as much as possible. Eventually, they spot a car they can use. There's just one problem: it's not theirs, and they don't have the keys. Michael turns to Jesse and quickly shows her how to use a gun. "Stay sharp, keep watch," he tells her. Then he slips into a nearby house to find the keys. Inside, as he searches, a young child sees him and freezes in fear. Seconds later, the homeowner appears, pointing a gun straight at Michael. Everything is about to go sideways, but Jesse steps in. She holds her ground, forcing the man to back off just enough and demands that he help treat Michael's wound. Back at headquarters, one of Roberta's technicians spots something off. "The terrorist profile we flagged earlier, it's fake." He explains that someone planted code inside the system designed to trigger an alert whenever a specific face appeared on camera. And the worst part? The code deletes itself after activation. Digging deeper, the technician pulls up the real profile. It shocks everyone. Michael is officially listed as dead, killed in combat years ago. Roberta's expression hardens. Someone's playing us, making us kill our own people. They try to access his mission file, but it doesn't exist. Completely wiped. Then another alert comes in, a 911 call from Scotland. A young boy crying says a man and a girl have taken his father hostage. Roberta immediately dispatches a new team, along with her top agent. Meanwhile, Manafort has been watching everything unfold through his system. When he sees the footage, he freezes. Michael is alive. The moment he hears Roberta is sending in a special agent, he steps in. He contacts the agent directly. "This is a black op," he says. "You report only to me." The agent Workman is loyal. He agrees without hesitation. Manafort gives the order, "Kill both of them." Back at the house, the homeowner finishes treating Michael's wound. He just wants them gone, but it's too late. Police have already surrounded the building. The homeowner's son quietly admits, "I was the one who called." The officers outside have strict orders not to engage, but as the homeowner moves toward the door, Workman fires. A clean shot to the head. The man drops instantly. Michael reacts just in time, pulling the boy back, saving him from the same fate. Workman opens fire on the police cars, tearing them apart. Inside the house, Michael and Jesse slip out the back, but 2 officers are already there. Michael moves fast. He takes both of them down in seconds. A 3rd officer rushes in one punch, and he's out too. Michael grabs their weapons. More officers try to close in, but Michael shuts them down with pepper spray and a taser. The last one doesn't even fight. Michael takes his keys. Moments later, they're in a police car, speeding away. They crash through traffic on the way out. barely holding it together, but they make it. Back at command, Roberta watches everything through the cameras. She tries to call Workman, but he's already shut off his comms. He's going rogue. Workman locks onto them and gives chase. He slams his vehicle into theirs. Michael pushes the speed higher. Gunshots ring out. The window shatters, but somehow they're still alive. Workman rams them again and again. They tear through forest roads, both cars fighting for control. Michael suddenly takes a sharp turn, trying to throw him off, but Workman sticks right behind them and hits them again. More shots fired. Michael swerves hard, zigzagging, dodging every bullet. Then he slows down just enough. Workman takes the bait and speeds past. That's when Michael makes his move. He slams into Workman's car from the side hard enough to flip it completely off the road. The vehicle rolls and crashes into the dirt. Michael doesn't wait. He makes sure it's out of play, then drives off with Jesse. A few miles later, they reach a construction site. Michael glances at the damaged car. We need a new ride. Out in the forest, Workman is still alive. He slowly makes his way back to the road. A police car and a civilian vehicle block his path, but he doesn't hesitate. He shoots the officer and forces the civilian out of the car, taking it for himself. At headquarters, Roberta calls Manafort. Do you know Michael? After a pause, Manafort finally reveals the truth. Years ago, he ran a secret program called Black Kites, a unit of highly skilled agents who operated completely off the books. No records, no identities. Michael was one of them, and one of the best. He explains that Michael was once sent on a mission to eliminate a foreign intelligence officer, but instead, Michael faked the report and disappeared. I always believed he turned, Manafort says. Use everything you have to stop him. Roberta pushes her team to break into the Black Kite system. As the files open, the real story comes out. Michael didn't switch sides. He helped an Iranian scientist escape a man who later provided critical information about a nuclear program. Michael had been ordered to kill him, but he refused. He kept his word. While Roberta goes through the files, Manafort secretly watches her through a security feed. Everything is getting more dangerous. Later on the road, Jesse quietly asks, "Do you have a family?" Michael answers without hesitation. No, he explains that he never wanted one. His life has always been dangerous and complicated. Having a family would only put them at risk. Jesse looks down, her voice soft. I would have taken that risk if it meant having my mom and my uncle back. Tears fill her eyes, and for a moment, there's nothing but silence. Jesse reaches into her bag and pulls out a folded piece of paper. It's a drawing, Jack. She made it herself. Softly, she says, Jack was your real family. After a while on the road, they reach the next town. They keep their heads down, walking carefully, avoiding every camera they can, but they miss one. A passing car with a dash cam captures their faces. Within minutes, Manafort has their exact location. He edits the footage, erasing both Michael and Jesse from the video so no one else can track them. Then he sends their coordinates directly to Workman. Michael and Jesse head into a small local church. Inside, Michael reconnects with an old friend, Arthur. Arthur doesn't ask questions. He just gets them into his car and drives them deep into the woods to a quiet house hidden among the trees. While in the kitchen, Jesse notices something strange. Bottles and strips of medication. Serious ones. Meanwhile, Arthur tells Michael the truth. Back when he was leaving his government job, he helped build the Thea system. He still has a copy of the software. When Michael disappeared years ago, Arthur secretly replaced his image in the system with a random face to protect him. But later, Manafort changed everything and turned Michael into a target. Michael tells Arthur to take care of Jesse while he goes out to finish this. Arthur refuses, clearly shaken. Before things escalate, Jesse speaks up. Arthur has cancer. She figured it out from the medication, recognizing the same drugs her mother used before she died. Jesse starts to feel it like Michael is about to leave her behind. I don't want to be a burden, she says. I'll just go. Arthur quietly admits the truth. I don't have much time left, maybe a few months. That changes everything. Michael asks Arthur for the address of an old trafficker they once knew. Arthur refuses. He's dangerous. But Michael doesn't have another option. Just as they're about to leave, a knock at the door. Then gunfire. Workman. Bullets tear through the house. Michael dives behind furniture for cover. As Workman steps inside, Michael shoves a shelf down on top of him. Then it turns into a full-on fight. Brutal, fast, unforgiving. They grab anything they can, chairs, lamps, tables. Everything becomes a weapon. The room is destroyed in seconds. A gun hits the floor. Both of them go for it, but they're evenly matched. Two elite agents locked in a relentless fight. Slowly, Workman gains the upper hand. He forces Michael down, overpowering him. He's about to finish it. Stop! Jesse. She's holding the gun, hands shaking but steady enough. Workman reacts instantly, lunges at her, rips the weapon away. But in that split second, Michael grabs a nail gun nearby and fires again and again. Workman staggers back. Michael doesn't wait. He grabs Jesse and they run. Gunshots follow them out of the house as Workman recovers and fires again, but it's too late. Michael, Jesse, and Arthur make it to the car and take off. Workman chases after them on foot, still shooting, but they're already gone. A message pops up on his device. Manafort. Is it done? Workman. No. Manafort turns to his assistant. Get the team ready. By the time they reach the city, Arthur hands Michael a phone. Then he goes his own way. Now it's just Michael and Jesse on the road. Jesse looks at him. Take me with you to the next island. Michael shakes his head. I want you to have a better life. Back at headquarters, a technician alerts Roberta someone is secretly using the Thea system. They set a trap. Meanwhile, in London, Michael does something risky. He lets the cameras see his face. He walks into a nightclub with Jesse. The bouncer tries to stop him, but Michael doesn't back down. He forces his way in. Manafort spots him on the cameras and tries to track the location, but suddenly access is blocked. That's when Roberta realizes the truth. Manafort has been playing his own game. Inside the club, Michael meets a trafficker named Kamal. "I need a new identity for her," Michael says. Kamal smirks. "Why would I help you?" Michael leans in. "Because we both know you've been feeding information to Manafort. You've got enemies who don't know that yet, but if I get caught, I'll make sure they do." Kamal's expression changes. "Agents will be here soon," he adds. Now Kamal has no choice. Within minutes, the documents are ready. "Boat leaves in 30 minutes, he tells them. Michael and Jesse start heading out, but Manafort's team is already inside. Michael moves first. He takes down one agent, grabs his gun, and fires. The loud music drowns out the shot. Another agent goes down, this time from a shard of broken glass. But when Michael shoots the third, people start noticing. Panic begins to spread. Michael and Jesse run toward the bathroom corridor, but another agent blocks their path. Gunfire erupts. Thinking fast, Michael pulls Jesse back into the main club, using the chaos to break away. Inside the club, the agents surround Michael and start beating him down. Jesse rushes in to help, but one of the men knocks her to the floor. Michael reacts instantly. He shoots the attacker. That's when the entire club erupts into chaos. People start screaming and running in every direction. In the confusion, one of the agents Jesse and drags her away. Michael quickly calls Arthur. Watching through security cameras, Arthur tracks the kidnapper in real time, guiding Michael through the city and telling him exactly where to go. Jesse is thrown into the back of a van. At that same moment, Roberta's team arrives and blocks the road. Michael assumes they're hostile too. He fights through several officers, forcing his way past them and continuing after the van. When he finally catches up, Manafort's agents are waiting. They surround him. Michael tears through them one by one, taking them down until he finally reaches Jesse. Then Workman shows up. But Michael and Jesse move fast, stealing a motorcycle and speeding away. They race toward a platform by the water. Jesse is in tears. She doesn't want to leave without him. Then a gunshot. Michael immediately shoves Jesse onto the boat, forcing her to leave while he makes sure she gets away safely. Michael and Workman open fire on each other until both guns run dry. Then it turns into something raw. No weapons, just fists, chains, and whatever they can grab. They slam into each other, trading blows. Workman gets the upper hand, wrapping a chain around Michael's neck, choking him. Michael struggles, then flips the fight. He drives Workman to the ground, grabs the chain, and strikes again and again. Finally, he wraps the chain around a metal pipe and brings it down hard. It's over. Workman doesn't get back up. Sometime later, Manafort stands in his mansion, staring out the window. Two guards lie dead outside. He turns. Michael is already in the room. They argue about the Black Kites program, about loyalty, about betrayal. It doesn't last long. Michael raises his gun and ends it with a single shot. 3 months later, Spain. Jesse is living a new life now. From a distance, Roberta and her team keep watching, still waiting, hoping Michael might show up one day. Jesse sits alone in a cafe, quietly reading a book. For a moment, the surveillance camera glitches just enough to lose sight of her. A waitress walks over and places a bag on the table, inside a single chess piece. Jesse looks up. Across the street, Michael stands there. He came back for her, and just like that, they're gone. So the real question is this the end or just the beginning?